Hello everybody, today I'm going to be ranking Phase 2 of the MCU. Now this was the phase that pretty much cemented the fact that this was going to be one hell of a franchise to contend with, you know? I mean, it wasn't guaranteed at this point that it was going to stay around, but it pretty much said, oh shit, they're still pulling out hits. So I'm going to be ranking Phase 2 here, and we're going to get started with Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Legitimately, even out of Phase 2, I think it is one of the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, you know? It's got the action, it's got the hard-hitting moments, you know? Introduced my favorite character, Bucky Barnes. Well, it didn't introduce it, but it made him one of my favorite characters. You know, you had Nick Fury, you know? He's one of my favorite people in the movie. The scene where he pretty much nopes the fuck out of the situation with the Winter Soldier, I love it. He just pans to him getting out through the ground. Well, honestly, one of my favorite parts. Obviously, you got the elevator scene. I love that scene. Very good scene. It's just, all in all, I think it is really good, you know? It's still him trying to save his friend, but at the same time come to terms with the fact of, oh fuck, I'm a man out of time. Honestly, love the movie. One of the best Marvel movies. Top 10 Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. Love it. Alright, Iron Man 3. I didn't think it was that bad. I think my opinion's a little skewed because I really haven't grown up with Marvel. I caught up about 6 months ago. I also have never read a single Marvel comic. So it's one of those things where, like, the Mandarin twist really didn't bother me that much. I thought it was pretty cool. I think the actor who plays Trevor Slattery / the fake Mandarin, I think he's such a great actor in this movie. I think anytime an actor I feel like any time that an actor can play an actor playing another character, I think those actors are so, like, I just feel like they're not looked up to as much, because I feel like being able to play a character that's playing a character, I just think they're some of the best actors that there is. It's honestly amazing. Obviously the plot, yeah, it probably is a little jumbled, but I still thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I'm pretty sure this was the one to introduce Black Widow. Love her character. All in all, I thought this was a fine movie. It's not the best Marvel movie, but it's not the worst, you know? I thought it was pretty A-okay. It gets hated on a little bit too much. Now, Avengers Age of Ultron. I know a lot of people actually seem to, like, think this is one of the worst Avengers movies, and it might be. I feel like they missed out a little bit on what they could have done with Ultron. But for what it was, I thought it was a good movie. I am someone who actually doesn't hate the Marvel humor, but I think here it actually was fine. But I feel like they kind of wasted Ultron. I feel like he should have been a more formidable threat. And I mean, technically you could argue, and they could pull some bullshit that he's not gone. He's just dormant. And there's something that might trigger him again. They're probably not going to go anywhere with that, but I'd like to think that Ultron is still out there. Obviously, they did more of him in What If, but I feel like he was such an underused character. He could have been genuinely more scary. He didn't seem that scary, in my opinion. Other than that, I thought it was a good movie. You know, action, you know, I love Hulk. All in all, it was a pretty damn good Avengers movie. You know, I think it also made $1 billion at the box office. I think it was one of the lowest grossing Avengers movies, but I thought it was still pretty good. I think Joss Whedon's humor is fine that he puts into it, but I still think it's a little too, I wouldn't say campy, but that's the best way to put it. I still think it's a little too campy. Alright, Ant-Man. I liked Ant-Man. I thought Ant-Man was pretty good. I love the humor. Like I said, I actually like the MCU's humor. You know, it's a comedy heist. You know, this is actually meant to be a comedy. Unlike old Avengers Age of Ultron, I don't mind that they put humor into it, but I feel like they should be making it more serious, you know? I feel like there should be more seriousness to it. This, on the other hand, this works perfect as a comedy heist, you know? And it still has its hard-hitting moments, you know? It still has him and his daughter, and it shows a great relationship between him and his daughter. I honestly really, really enjoy it. Obviously, I think it's one of the lesser liked Marvel movies because of it being mainly a comedy, but I thought it was pretty good. It had Yellow Jacket in it. That guy is genuinely a fucking maniac. I thought it was pretty good, and I am excited for I think it's Quantumania to come out next year. Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, I love Guardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn is a fucking poet of a director. His humor is so top notch. It's amazing. I love his humor. And one of my favorite parts of this movie is just them all meeting up, and like they all just seem to hate each other at first, but then they they get to know each other. They get to see how each other works, and I did just the chemistry of the actors all just bounce off each other perfectly. I just love it. Like Quill. The thing I like is Quill's like attraction to Gamora like seems not forced or fake or weird. Well, weird in the sense of like just forced. Doesn't feel forced. And she just hates him at first. She's like, no, get away from me. But she kind of slowly starts to open up. So it's like I just love how well he directs it. It's honestly awesome. Thor: The Dark World. It's the same thing with Iron Man 3. A lot of people hate it. It's like the black sheep of the MCU. But I didn't think it was that bad. It gets a little boring at parts, I don't hate Jane Foster, but she's definitely not an interesting part of the movie for me. And, it's just, I love the fight scenes. I think there is some good parts to the movie. Loki's death genuinely caught me off guard. I mean, I knew he wasn't dead, but like it was kind of emotional for me. I'll admit it. I was a little baby bitch, and it made me tear up, even though I knew he didn't die. I have had the thing spoiled. The MCU's been spoiled for me for years before I ever watched it, because it's such a pop culture thing. You can't avoid spoilers. But like, it still is like, oh shit, it's a pretty good movie. Is it the best movie? No. I like the fight scenes with Malekith, and here's my thing with Malekith. I'm one of those people, but I know a lot of people want a villain that has morals, that he believes in, and that he has a reason why he believes in what he believes in. And I know Thanos is one of the big reasons that people want these kind of almost strangely forgivable villains for thinking what they're doing is right. But I don't think there necessarily always needs to be a villain like that. And I'm someone who wants villains like this, but I don't think Malekith necessarily had to have a motive other than to be evil. I mean, he was the Dark Elves. He's this elves from almost the beginning of time, born out of darkness, the Dark Realm. Well, you could call that lazy writing and shit. I honestly didn't think he needed a specific reason to be evil. He just was evil because that's how he is born. He's just evil. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Obviously, there's some other issues with the movie, but honestly, I thought it was fine. I liked the fight scenes. I loved the little portal fighting. I thought that was my favorite part. Honestly, was the portal fight scenes. It felt kind of cool. And other than that, I thought it was a fine movie. For some of the other movies, I forgot to mention this with Iron Man 3. The one part I think that could have been left out was the kid in Nashville. I feel like it was never really done up enough. And like, he had one callback, and I know this is way out of phase 2, but he had one callback in Endgame. And I just feel like it served no purpose. I know not everything needs to serve a purpose, but I feel like it just took up time that could have been used for something better with the kid. They could have at least like made him more to the plot. But other than that, I think these are all pretty good movies. Pretty solid phase. I will be ranking phase 3 here pretty soon, so hope you enjoyed, and see ya.